In the tranquil rural village of Central America, an unprecedented commotion erupted as a swarm of police officers gathered around a seemingly ordinary tree, drawn by the relentless barking of Zena, a retired police dog. Her owner, John, had been startled when Zena bolted off during their routine forest walk, leading him deep into the woods where she stood fixated on this particular tree. Sensing something amiss, John hastened towards Zena, his initial concern giving way to a growing unease as he approached. Zena, normally composed and disciplined, exhibited a rare frenzy, her bark piercing the calm woodland air. John, perplexed by her behavior, examined the tree closely. It appeared weathered and lifeless, its branches devoid of leaves, standing in stark contrast to the lush surroundings. He couldn't discern any obvious threat or reason for Zena's agitation upon first glance. Despite his uncertainty, John's curiosity was piqued. He noticed the tree's bark seemed unusually thin and hollow, producing an eerie, echoing sound when tapped. Could Zena have sensed something inside? With growing determination, John decided to investigate further. He tied Zena securely to a nearby tree and hurried to a nearby house to borrow an axe, his mind racing with questions about what could possibly be concealed within. Returning swiftly with the axe, John wasted no time. With each resounding blow, he felt the tree give way, the thin bark yielding under the force of his strikes. With a mixture of anticipation and apprehension, he struck again, feeling his axe sink into something unexpectedly soft inside the tree. Startled, he pulled back momentarily, then resumed his efforts, widening the gap he had created. As he continued to hack away, the mystery deepened. Zena's persistent barking had drawn the attention of the entire village, and soon, police officers arrived on the scene. They, too, were baffled by the dog's behavior and John's determination to uncover the truth hidden within the tree. With each swing of the axe, the tension mounted. The villagers watched with bated breath, their curiosity matching John's own. What could possibly be concealed within this ancient, hollowed-out tree? The answer, as John soon discovered, would unravel a series of events that would shake the tranquil village to its core. In the serene Central American village, an unusual and tense atmosphere settled as John cautiously widened the hole in the tree, revealing a startling discovery that sent shivers through everyone present. Zena, the retired police dog, intensified her barking as John's axe exposed a motionless figure clothed in a police uniform within the hollow tree trunk. Shocked and alarmed, John immediately knew he needed to involve the authorities. The first responding officer initially hesitated to believe John's account. It sounded too bizarre to be true. Nevertheless, upon arriving at the scene and witnessing the eerie find for himself, he swiftly called for backup and secured the area. The motionless figure, clad in the familiar uniform of a local police officer, lay ominously at the base of the tree, prompting a flurry of activity among the gathered crowd and law enforcement. As word spread, curious onlookers gathered, some snapping photos despite the officer's efforts to maintain order. With the arrival of additional units, a perimeter was established, and forensic experts were summoned to examine the peculiar discovery. Amidst the anticipation and tension, all eyes turned to Zena, whose former handler, Officer Jerry, recognized the dog's potential to assist in unraveling the mystery. John, though eager to leave the unsettling scene, understood Zena's persistence and her potential to track sense. Recognizing her exceptional skills, John proposed that Zena be temporarily reinstated to aid in the investigation. Officer Jerry, supportive of the idea, quickly coordinated with Zena's former partner, Oliver, who eagerly joined the effort upon hearing the extraordinary circumstances. Oliver's arrival brought a touching reunion with Zena, her excitement evident as she greeted her former partner. With permission granted, Oliver led Zena back to the tree where the discovery had been made. Amidst the watchful gaze of the assembled crowd, Zena sniffed and soon caught a scent, leading her away from the tree and towards a trail that eventually led to tire marks on a nearby road, a frustrating dead end in the search. Meanwhile, forensic examination of the scene provided some answers, yet raised more troubling questions. The lifeless figure found in the tree turned out to be a remarkably lifelike doll, meticulously crafted to resemble a police officer. More disturbingly, the uniform it wore belonged to Corporal Mike, a respected and long-standing member of the force who had abruptly left under mysterious circumstances. Corporal Mike's sudden departure, coupled with the erasure of his public records, fueled speculation and unease among his former colleagues. While the doll offered some relief that no human tragedy had occurred, the implications surrounding Corporal Mike's disappearance cast a shadow over the tranquil village. As the investigation continued, the search for answers into Mike's puzzling exit from the force would test the community's trust and the integrity of the local police department. The truth unraveled swiftly after Mike's abrupt dismissal for photographing confidential police documents. Facing imminent legal action, Mike vanished without a trace the very next day. The department's discreet search efforts yielded nothing, leaving his sudden disappearance cloaked in mystery. Weeks passed with no leads, forcing the police to redirect their resources towards active cases, though the sensitive nature of the documents kept tensions high among top officials fearing a breach. Discovery of Mike's uniform shook the department, reigniting old questions and spawning new ones, especially for Officer Jerry, the first responder at the scene. Feeling a personal duty to uncover the truth, Jerry sought permission to lead the investigation, only to be denied by his chief, citing a potential conflict of interest. Determined, Jerry clandestinely gathered intelligence, leveraging favors from colleagues and forensic experts for critical information. Key insights emerged during interviews, notably from John and a local who had observed suspicious activity near the tree where Mike's uniform was found. The local had heard a distinctive red Dodge SUV Hellcat speeding by, a vehicle known to be Mike's pride. This detail sparked a resurgence in the investigation, raising questions about Mike's possible involvement or the motives of others. Despite hitting obstacles, Jerry persisted, securing a search warrant for Mike's car. A breakthrough came when a fellow officer spotted the familiar vehicle entering a garage in a nearby town. Jerry, operating independently, raced to the location, driven by a need for answers. Arriving at an unexpectedly lavish residence, he prepared to confront revelations that could alter the course of the investigation dramatically. Jerry stood before the imposing house, grappling with the incongruity of its opulence compared to the circumstances he had expected. This wasn't the dwelling of a disgraced former officer out of a job. It exuded wealth and grandeur. Gathering his resolve, he pressed the doorbell, his mind racing with anticipation. After a tense moment, the door swung open, revealing a familiar face that Jerry hadn't expected to encounter under such circumstances. It was Mike. Mike greeted Jerry with unexpected warmth and a hint of relief. "Finally, someone found me." "What took you so long?" he exclaimed, his voice betraying a mix of emotions that Jerry couldn't quite decipher. The two hadn't been particularly close during their time together on the force, which made the encounter all the more perplexing for Jerry. As Jerry entered Mike's lavish home, Mike began to unravel the mystery behind the staged discovery of the police doll in the tree. It had been a calculated stunt, orchestrated by Mike himself, designed to attract the attention of someone within the police force who cared enough to seek him out. Mike explained that he had discovered incriminating documents implicating a local millionaire in illegal activities. When he attempted to gather evidence, he was caught by the corrupt police chief, who promptly fired him to conceal the damning secrets. Mike revealed that the chief was not only protecting the millionaire's interests, but had also been bought off by him, an offer Mike himself had been presented with, though he refused. Despite knowing the risks, Mike wanted to expose the corruption within the department and bring justice to the community. His hope had rested on finding a courageous officer like Jerry, someone willing to challenge the status quo, and help him reveal the truth. Jerry listened, incredulous yet increasingly convinced by Mike's sincerity and the compelling nature of his story. Despite the surreal nature of the situation, Jerry harbored a deep-seated disdain for the chief, making him receptive to Mike's plea for support. Determined to right the wrongs and driven by a sense of justice, Jerry took decisive action. He rallied senior officers, sharing Mike's revelations about the chief's corruption. Together, they built a case that ultimately led to the chief's dismissal, a pivotal moment that reshaped the department's leadership. In an unexpected twist of fate, Jerry found himself thrust into the spotlight as a natural successor to lead the force. As Jerry reflected on the surreal sequence of events that had unfolded, he couldn't help but marvel at the unpredictable ways life could unfold, altering destinies and exposing truths hidden beneath the surface.